Ladies and gentlemen, I knew that would get your attention. We have one rule tonight of the many I'm going to explain first. The first rule is you will turn your cell phones off now or I will strangle you. Do we agree? The question of God. For many of you, this is already a settled question. This is a fait accompli. This is something that is not genetic, it's not hereditary, but it is indeed something you were born with. It's a faith, it's a soul, it's a feeling that you have in your body. It's something that you can't buy in a store, you can't get it over the internet, it's something that you just know is there. As a human being, we love, we procreate, we fight, we think, and something so complex, something so interesting, something so singular possibly could not have evolved all by itself. Therefore, there has to be some sort of divine creator. There has to be a master plan. There has to be a master planner. Therefore, he exists. Or, the question of God is simply manufactured by man because he's too unintelligent to accept the unknown. He doesn't have the brain matter yet to accept science. He cannot comprehend that from the nothing there was a speck, and from the speck the universe grew. And from the universe, the planets grew. And from the planets, we have a planet that we're standing on right now called Earth. And on the Earth, through weather formations and everything else that was happening as everything, here comes that word, evolved, DNA was created through one cell. And from that one cell and its instinctual need to survive, through natural selection and evolution, I stand before you. Therefore, God is just simply a support system. It's just there to give us comfort because we don't know any better. It's there to give us solace because we don't have the answers to the questions. We're too stupid to understand. Both sides will be debated tonight by two gentlemen who are very, very brilliant scholars. This is also an exercise in tolerance and acceptance tonight. We're going to be good boys and girls, especially when we open this up to you. Now, we're not going to pretend at all that we're going to leave you with a finite answer of the question tonight. The issue here is to get you to think. Now, maybe you'll think from the moment this is over until you walk to the car. Maybe you'll think for the rest of the weekend. Maybe you'll think for the rest of your life. Maybe you'll never settle the question. But at least you will think. And I guarantee with these two gentlemen, this will be one of the most inspiring but polite battles you have ever heard on the God question. And I'm glad you're all here. Now, we want to thank Fresno State for hosting us, the Associated Students for their support of this event, the campus student clubs, including Revolution, the Fellowship of all four of you, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, all 9 of you, other sponsors including the New Covenant Community Church, I think Patrick had any friends, and the Central Valley Alliance of Atheists and Skeptics. Very good. We have other rules tonight other than your idiotic cell phones, and please turn those off. This is very important because this is going to be heavy stuff. We're going to have 12-minute openings from both gentlemen. Each will have a 5-minute rebuttal. Each will have a 5-minute closing. Then we're going to sit down here at the table. All three of us will do a cross-examination for just a few minutes. After that, we're going to open it up to you. This is where it's going to get fun, and you will be on your best behavior. Now, the rule is when we open it to you, you will have one question to one of the two guests, and that's it. We can't have a question for both guys to debate because we want to give everybody a fair shot. So be thinking of your question now to address to one of the guests tonight, okay? Fair deal? And that way we can get as many of you in here as we can. Also, I want to highlight tomorrow's symposium, which I will remind you of all night, at the New Covenant Community Church. This is free for students. It's even a free lunch. And they said there was no such thing as a... That's the old people who remember that phrase there. It's $20 for everybody else. Dinesh will be there, and we will introduce him shortly. There are a number of sessions that are going to be covered by a number of experts in that field. I will tell you who that is later. You know who I am, right? I don't have to go through that? Good. One of the things I do, a little bit of news though, since I do news, and I do a talk show. Driving in, I'll just give you a little update on the news because you didn't hear this because you were coming down here. One of the things that I do on the side is I love animals, pets. I do like unwanted dogs and unwanted cats, and I find them homes and all that. And heard this little, so all of you animals out there, I heard the animal lovers, I heard this little tidbit driving in on KMJ, my station. Remember the Clintons, they had that little black cat named Socks the cat? Remember him? He died today. Yeah, jumped up in Hillary's lap and froze to death. It was terrible. Let me introduce, I had to get one in. You knew I was going to do that. Both of our guests tonight have books to offer you. You will meet them when this is over. I'll tell you what those books are and the other offerings as we introduce the gentleman. First, he is the author of What's So Great About Christianity. He is also a Robert and Karen Rishwan Fellow at the Hoover Institute at Stanford. Investors Business Daily called him one of the top young policymakers in the country. New York Times Magazine named him one of America's most influential conservative thinkers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dinesh D'Souza. The other is the publisher of Skeptic Magazine. He is the author of Why Darwin Matters, Evolution and the Case Against Intelligent Design. He's a monthly columnist for Scientific American. He's an adjunct professor in the School of Politics and Economics at the Claremont Graduate University. Would you please welcome Dr. Michael Shermer. Both of these gentlemen will have their books to offer you tonight, and for the first 500 of you of the approximately 1,400 in here and the other 1,200 outside, which means everybody's not going to get one, Dr. Shermer has brought 500 copies of his magazine free, okay?